Okay, so I'm on a mobile right now, so I don't have the ability to share the agenda. So if someone is able to share it, that'd be fantastic, and then we'll get started. Thank you very much. So welcome to the Network Service Mesh Working Group. We hold this call at every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific. We also hold a PR Reviews weekly call every 7:30 a.m. Tuesday Pacific, a half hour right before this call. We also attend and interact with other groups as well, such as the CNCF Cloud Native Network Function Working Group, which occurs weekly on Mondays at 1600 UTC, and also the CNCF Tag Network, which occurs every first and third Thursday of every month at 9 a.m. Pacific. There are links in the meeting notes. So we have a couple of upcoming events. The first one is KubeCon EU, which is going to happen in just a few weeks. We also have Cloud Native Telco Day, which is going to be co-located at KubeCon EU on the very first day. So generally the way it works for those of you who have not been to KubeCon is that the first 2 days tend to be co-located events, and then the last 3 days are the main agenda. So May 16th is the Monday first event. So there are also other co-located events. So it's well worth looking at what is on offer there. Open Source Summit. The agenda says June 21 through 24th. So they set up a June 20th co-located event. So we should change that to the June 20th. But in short, the week of the 20th through the 24th will be in Austin, Texas. And so that's also another opportunity. The third one is KubeCon North America, which is going to be on October 24th through 28th. The CFPs are currently open up until May 27th. So we have about 1 month before the CFPs close. So feel free to submit a entry, or if you would like, please consider joining up with friends to submit as well. Or if you want to ask us for questions or advice on how to get a good submission in, please do so. Both me and Ed have been reviewers or chairs of some of the tracks before, so we can give advice on what tends to make a good entry. With that, we have social media community team. So the stats are a little bit old, so we'll skip the stats for today. They're from last week. With this, we have an open agenda. Thank you for adding that in. We have the new NSM release version 1.3.1 put out this Friday. Can someone speak to this as to what is changing in the 0.1 release?
Oh, yep, I can describe it a bit. In short, we got a response from community with a few issues with NSM. We found a major problem with logging. And also, we found a problem with production cluster from Joanna from NSM community. So that we're also planning to fix at this Friday. And also the major point that Spire, the Spire dependencies that currently we are using with within version NSM 1.3 has security leaks on Spire side, and we are planning to update Spire applications for this Friday. And mostly that's it.
Thank you very much. So with that, expect the release this coming Friday, and please let us know if you find any other issues in the release so that we can start to track them. You can tell us in a variety of different ways. Of course, an issue, make sure that we have proper tracking. So, but definitely come and have these conversations with us on what works or what doesn't. Both are equally valuable. With this, is there anything that anyone would like to discuss beyond?
Can I have a question related to the release, the 1.3.1?
Oh, absolutely.
Is there or will there be any place where we can check the exact content? I mean, which BRs or which part of the software are updated and with what? So in details.
I think we can check it, and also I'm not sure where currently we are using Ethernet context. Am I got it correctly that your Ethernet context from NSM protocol?
Might still be on mute. I can't hear any response.
I'm sorry, I'm not really following you. How this Ethernet context came up?
Oh, so, okay, got it. I missed context.
I wanted to know. I wanted to know the exact content of this release 1.3.1. I mean the details. What are included? It's nothing about the Ethernet context. Sorry, maybe my pronunciation was
got it.
Not quite clear, but sorry.
Yes, we absolutely will add some content related to this release, and I guess we'll publish it also in the same site. Currently, I can just add short topics. It's update. It's fix registry limitation for Joanna cluster. Update Spire dependency to resolve security issues that we have on Spire side.
You mean 1.2.3, right?
Yep. I mean, yep. Currently, we are using 1.2.2.
Yeah. Okay. Clear.
And also, as you know, I plan to update everything to Go 1.18. To improve performance and get new features from new version of Go. And also, yep, I forgot about topic related to improving logging from registry side. Currently, it spams a lot of messages that is not critical, and looking as
okay.
spam.
This is the overlogging that we discussed a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that is the most important for me to know if this will be included or not. Okay, that's good.
So one quick question here as well is the Go 118.1 here going to be an issue? Because if you're on Go 118, then we should be in good shape. But if you're on Go 117 and we make the library 118 specific, then we may run into issues with you being able to compile and include the library in. So, if you're able to check, if you don't know, if you're able to check quickly and get back to us on that, or then that'll be helpful, so to make sure that you're able to consume the package, and we can work out like if you want to perform that upgrade, or whether there's a need to delay the 118.1 release.
Yeah, but it's actually makes sense, and Ed also thought about it, and we agreed that we can try to update everything at latest Go 1.18, and if it will work correctly, then we can release it. If it will not work correctly on our side and alongside testing, we can downgrade to previous version.
Okay, good to know. It's just that's something we have to be a little bit careful with here, because it does have the ability. People who are already in 118 will be okay, and then it comes down to what's in the Go module. So compiling it in 118 is no problem. Releasing a binary in 118, again, no problem. It comes down to if the Go module has Go 1.18 in the Go mod file, then that may pose a challenge if somebody is trying to compile it explicitly with Go 117. So there's just that one use case that we have to be sensitive with. So that's why I'm trying to bring it up real quick, is to make sure that especially the people who are working on this from Ericsson, I think you'd be the highest impacted possibly on that. So I want to make sure that your input is taken here. So if you're comfortable with it, then there's no problems here. It's just I want to make sure that you're comfortable with Go 1.18 with that, assuming there's no issue. Or if Denise, if you can tell me whether or not we're still keeping Go compatibility to previously before 118 to 117, then we're also good. Either of those scenarios, we'll be in good shape.
Okay, I'll check latest Go version, and if we will not got new problems, then I guess we can release with it. And also, Frederick, could you please send to me some links for the problems that you described?
Yeah, definitely. And the main thing, just to be clear, the main thing here is that Go 118 is the first release with generics. So the basic problem is if I try to compile something that uses generics in 117, even then things will break. But the way that they tell that is not through the use of you having generics. The flag for that is in the Go module by you saying that you're Go 118 compatible. So that's where the real check is. So that it all comes around to that specific thing. If there's nothing written up on it, I'm happy to. It's easy to write up the exact properties there, and I'll make sure that it's clear to you as to how that particular part works, just to make sure that we don't accidentally actually break people. But yeah, we need to make sure that we have the details clear there. I'll open up an issue on it, and if we could get both sides to take a very quick look, and we can do a little bit of discovery, and we can then work out very quickly whether or not there's going to be an issue there or not. Because I feel more comfortable waiting to get a guarantee that Ericsson is on 118 before we change the Go module compatibility to 118 and above. And that's really the key thing here, is just to make sure that we maintain that compatibility parity, and to make sure that we give people time to upgrade.
Yes, that's super smart ideas, I think, and we also already updated, as I know, API repository of NSM with latest Go, and I guess we can fast check if guys or folks have problems with this latest version of API repository. So who can check it?
Is there someone on the Ericsson side that we can pair up with just to double check this to make sure that we're not breaking you all?
Yes, in 2 words, we just updated master version of NSM for latest Go version. And so if you can check, is this fine for you, it will be super good.
Yeah, actually, if you can scroll down a little bit, show us what the patch is for the Go mod, and then that might answer our. Oh, that's just the compiler on that part. But what we need to see is the Go module itself. So it says Go 116 to Go 118. So yeah, so that one means that no compiler that is Go 1 that is younger than not younger. Sorry, let me rephrase. There is no version that is lower than 118 is able to work with this project, and so that's explicitly what it means. So that's what I was saying. So in knowing this, we just have to double check. So Ericsson, if you're people at Ericsson, if you're at 118, then we're good. If you're at 117 or earlier, then we need to make sure we need to have a conversation around this. And so that's what I'm getting to, is just to make sure that that we can work out if this is going to end up causing an issue for you or not. And if it does, then we have 2 options. So the first option is we don't bump it. The second option is we bump it and you upgrade to 118. So those are the 2 options at that point. So
I also found an interesting thing that we updated only 2 repositories. It's API and SDK. And as you can see, the second repository is SDK kernel got update from SDK repository that has version 1.18. So this repository has the old Go version, and as you can see, it is updated correctly to latest SDK version. Let's check. Check it.
yeah, and that's okay as long as the compiler that is using is 118 or above. So if you were to compile this with 117, my guess here is that it would end up probably having trouble. But we can test this. It's just something that I want to make sure we're very careful with.
Yeah, but it will be nice if we can check it.
Yeah, we are at 116 actually, so we have to double check it, as you said.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Thank you for confirming that. So let's go ahead and Dennis, how about you and I circle around this after sometime after the meeting, and we'll come up with some form of a couple of tests that we can run here. And you mentioned you're on 116 as well. So the two things on here. So first is we have to double check the compatibility here. I suspect we'll run into problems. The second one, just for your own information here, please take this in the best of ways. 118, when 118 is released, or when it is the end of to 116. So 116 will not get any future, any bug or security fixes. There's one exception to that, which is if your distro takes it upon themselves to update over time, like Red Hat sometimes does this. But if you're on the 116 community release, you'll very likely want to jump minimum to the 117 release to make sure you keep on getting those security updates over time. So just as a heads up, because not everyone knows that. But with that, let's double check to see if to make sure we're not going to have problems here. Because if we're really lucky, then it'll just try to compile it anyway, and then if it runs into a feature that it doesn't have, and then we'll see how it works. But let's Denise, let's you and I circle afterwards, and we'll report up into an issue, and we'll post the issue in Slack to make sure that we get visibility on this. Will that be acceptable for you and your team?
Yep, I think it's good.
Cool. And I think it was Zoltan who was speaking. Is that, will that work for you?
Yep,
yeah, sure. I think so.
Okay, cool. So we'll work on this as quickly as possible, just to make sure that we get a fast decision here, because we want to minimize that impact. Unless you tell us that you can upgrade to 118. Now, if you're easily able to upgrade to 118, then we just continue on as we were. So that would be the one thing. But considering
we also probably could try to soft strategy. We can keep Go version for 1.3.1 as we can have for 1.3 for NSM, and update everything at the latest Go for the next release to avoid extra problems with backward compatibility and so on.
That would be my preference. If we were to set the Go compatibility to 116, and I think we should double check to make sure there's nothing older than 116 as well. So, but rather, let me rephrase. We should make sure that that 116 is what we set things to, and simultaneously we bring in the 118.1 compiler. So the Go mod states 116, the compiler is 118, and so with that combination, that'll simultaneously keep the backwards compatibility, and will also allow us to test a new compiler to make sure things are okay in this scenario. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, I'm much more comfortable with that. So let's set that as a strategy for now then, and I'll circle around with Ed to make sure that Ed's aware of this information. But yeah, let's take that as a strategy, and then we'll aim for 118 for future, probably the next major release, and then I think that'll get us that parity. So. Cool. So are there any other questions here, or are we good? Not hearing any other questions, and thanks for bearing with me on this Go version. This is, I think, quite an important thing, and we caught that visibility from the previous question of what was in it, so that changed in really well. Cool. Are there any other topics that people would like to discuss?
Here is a small topic from our side. It's related to the next release. It's currently is going good and it's going as at planned. So currently dates are not changed. So that's it.
Fantastic. Okay, so dates are in the agenda. So feel free to make use of those to do your future planning. And with that, are there any other topics that people would like to bring up? Not hearing anything, so I want to thank you all for your time, and we will see you all again at the same time next week. Have a good day.
Thank you. See you.
See you.
Bye.